So to kind of sum up the question, is there any chance that a child would not react to the process?
No. The only time they don't react and improve is if the parents aren't consistent and go outside the guidelines. And that might sound rather an ego sort of statement, and I would have agreed about 20 years ago, Eugene, but over the last 8 years, with the results and the feedback that we're getting from around the world, the only time there aren't any changes is when the parents don't present the process consistently, correctly, and with all the primary carers involved with that child. It's not the sleep talk that doesn't work.
It's the parent. Okay. So what do you mean by consistent?
It needs to be, 7 nights out of 7 nights is better than 6. But I can live with 6 nights. But if I can only get 5, then I will cope with that. It just takes a little bit longer. But many children have 2 homes, like 2 households. They stay with one parent and then they go and stay with the other. Preferably, both parents are trained, but that's, reality is that doesn't always happen. So let me put it this way. 1 night is better than none. 2 is better than 1. 3 is better than 2.
All right. So, and also that would be an indicator of how long it will take to get some results.
Yes, and yet sometimes you can get results within the first 2 or 3 weeks. Other times...
you can get them overnight. I had that case happening.
The mother of these 2 children of my book, that's Amina and Isabella, Natalie came to me 5-6 years ago. She is as a parent, because there was major sibling rivalry and separation anxiety. And it took her 3 months, her and her husband, her gorgeous husband, AC, to gain the desired results, which was the effect, the separation anxiety. But along the way, there were smaller issues that were starting to show as feedback that the process was being accepted. But because Natalie was looking for the separation anxiety, she failed to see the other smaller issues, because it's like peeling an onion sometimes. But I'm absolutely thrilled that Natalie is now a sleep talk trainer, and she's off to Singapore to train in Singapore. So I'll be bringing some of these books with me.
Yes, please. I'm going to ask you a few questions about the books also, if I manage to remember. Now, is there an average time to see the results?
Yes, between 6 to 8 weeks is the time frame. And normally, in most cases, a parent won't need more than 3 visits maximum over about 6 months.
With the consultant, you mean? Like the parent talking to the consultant? Yeah. When can you stop using the technique?
I'm going to put this back right to you, Eugene. When does a parent stop telling their child they love them?
No, the question comes more in a different twist. I like what you're doing, but it's not going to work because the question has a little has a purpose to it. The idea is this: let's say a parent has an issue, or the child has an issue the parent is trying to help the child with. Yep. Now, suppose that the parent has been working with the child, the issue is almost gone, or it's already gone. Now, is it safe to stop? If I stop, will it come back again?
Well, great question. It is so subjective. I can't give you a guarantee on anything because behavior and individual children are so unique. There is no 2 things the same. However, having said that, if the foundation has been allowed to be established as primary default programming, and then there has been an identification of a primary area of need, and the consultant has developed a specific suggestion that has been presented to the child for the appropriate amount of time, and whatever that is depends on the individual child, and the assessment mind profile that is part and parcel of the consultation. Once the effects of the initial cause have been dealt with, then it would be appropriate, I think, for the parent to maybe a couple of times a week just reinforce the foundation or even the specific statement, which there is a very, very strict criteria on these statements, Eugene. There is a communication template objective, of which one is you always deal with the cause. It's cause-focused. The suggestions must last for life, because unbelievably parents don't realize that the suggestions, because they are the primary carer and the person in authority over their child most of the time, every suggestion, every single thing that they've ever said to that child is actually remembered. And the default programming is there, so we need to ensure that that is supported with positive belief structures to enable that little one to deal with their world. And it must last for life, and it must be positive, and it must be cause-focused.
Okay. Now, can any parent do the SleepTalk process? Let me change this question and ask it a bit differently. Because some of the people said, do I need to have some professional background, some academic or knowledge that I need to employ in using this technique?
No, the consultants do, of course, because there are prerequisites. But a parent doesn't need a license to have a child. And all parents, I would like to think, I know that I am sometimes a little bit naive, but I would like to believe that all parents would value and cherish the opportunity to talk to the very soul of their child and tell them that they're loved.